Make sure that everything is set here. All right, here we are. Yay! So we are doing Publicity Wednesdays with Ms. Raine. Ms. Raine. Raine. And I always forget to put my name, so let me make sure that I put it there. I don't know how to spell my own name, guys. All right, so I am going Publicity Wednesdays. Good, it's pinned. So you guys, I am super excited. Always when I use this lip gloss, I am super excited because you guys, okay, Miss Raine is here. And thank you so much for that Dancehall chat. It's this lipstick. It always happens, yes. But thank you. So I'm excited because this is the second of a 3-part series. We only have one class left, which is next week, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so excited, and I'm also sad because after today's class, there's only one. But Miss Raine Martin, we know that she is super busy, so we just want to bring her in right now. And today's Publicity Wednesday, and I hope you guys brought your pen and paper, or if you have a smartphone, I hope you are ready to take notes. I took notes. I think I took like 3 pages of notes when she had the class on December 1st because she was giving us media coaching, which was so awesome. She got us ready for interviews. Today, do I still need a publicist? PR in a digital age, that's public relations. With the self-promotion tools of digital media, social media, are publicists still relevant? Yes. So we have our exclusive session. We're going to bring her in right now without further ado. Martin. Miss Raelle, hello, gorgeous. Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Somebody look like they already in the sun. I'm a little hating on you right now. I look like I need to cut you off maybe and not just sit here for an hour. You look great.
It's the lighting. All the lighting.
Hey. Okay, so I'm gonna be quiet and we are gonna listen to you talk. I have my pad and paper and I am ready.
Well, first of all, let me thank British Links, Romy Icon, and Genie Sweetness for giving me this opportunity to talk to you today about the evolving role of publicists and public relations professionals, particularly in the age of digital media. So once again, my name is Raine Martin, and I've been in the media and communications industry for about 18 years. I started off as a journalist, and then I worked as an independent publicist for about 8 years. Projects that I've worked on as an independent publicist, I worked on, one of my first projects was the Rhythm Doubles album by Sly and Robbie in 2006. It was nominated for a Grammy. It was one of my favorite projects, and rest in peace to Robbie Shakespeare. I was really saddened by that, but very happy to have had that opportunity. I also worked on Reggae Carafest, which was one of the big annual summer concerts that they used to have in New York in 2007. I worked on the Brooklyn Music Festival in 2009. And I worked with Vibes Cartel and the DJ Heem Records / the Portmore Empire from about 2008 to 2011. That was a wild ride. And then one of my last music projects, but still my favorite, was the Sweet Jamaica album with Mr. Vegas. Since then, most of my career has been in marketing and communications and fundraising at nonprofit organizations. And so while I'm not a music publicist anymore, I still do work in communications, but for nonprofit organizations. So as my brother says, doing the Lord's work.
Doing the Lord's work, yes. And that's why, I just am so grateful that you're giving us these 3 exclusive sessions, because I know you're so busy,
yes,
so to give us those hours, just thank you.
So I have heard many artists, musicians, entertainers say, well, what's the point of having a publicist anymore? I can reach out to journalists myself through social media. I can post on my own social media. My manager can do that. I don't need a publicist. Yes, you do. So the role of publicists have changed a bit in with digital media. Traditionally, a publicist was mostly responsible for like gaining press coverage for their clients, news, magazine, write-ups, radio and television interviews and such. And that hasn't changed that much. But now, as we're moving into the age of what I call the iOS press release, most news and newsworthy content is driven by social channels, IG, Twitter, now you have Clubhouse. You've seen people gain a lot of publicity through TikTok and YouTube and other medias. Now, in this realm, in this digital age, there is an overlap and a blending of what you call public relations and marketing. So typically PR is like dealing with news and media and press, and marketing influences behavior. So it's like driving sales or driving eyes and clicks to a certain product or topic or such. But now you have a blending of the two. So sourcing and creating content is now a very big part of the kind of public relations marketing role in the digital age. So I'm going to tell you three reasons where hiring a publicist can help boost your public profile in this digital age. So 3 reasons. First reason is strategic content building and publishing. While a lot of entertainers and public figures do have the power to control and publicize videos and projects, singles through their own social media platforms, what a public relations professionals can help you do is build your online audience and your brand through targeted content creation and publishing across a variety of platforms. For example, anyone can like manually post a video or a video clip on IG to promote a song. What a PR professional can help you do is create posts that are uniquely created to fit the best practices of each platform. So each platform is different. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, they all have different audiences. They all function different. Different things work best on these different platforms. So instead of just helping you, just randomly post the same thing over and over again, PR professionals and marketing professionals, they understand what works for each platform. They also understand how each platform works and how the audience works. So for example, at my job now, we post on Instagram later in the evening because that's when Instagram is most live. That's when we get the most eyeballs on our content, as opposed to posting on Instagram first thing in the morning. So PR professional, communications professional can help you create posts that are uniquely created to fit the best practices for each platform. It might be that video works really well on Instagram, but doesn't work very well on Twitter. So you need something different for Twitter. Even though it's the same basic thing that you're promoting, you need someone who understands how each of those work so that you can get the optimal time for engagement. You want to make sure that people are yeah, go ahead.
So I have a question. So how do you know who does what on each platform? How do you have the understanding of who looks at what?
Metrics, sweetie. That is my
metrics.
That is my next point. That is my
okay.
Next
Sorry. Okay.
A communications professional can help you track your data and your metrics and your engagement to see who is visiting your page, when they are visiting your page, how they interact with your content. And there's also a ton of research out there about which, what platform, what works on each platform. And a lot of that comes from just, these industry specific blogs and things that, you know, most professionals are tuned into, like trade things that most professionals are tuned into. But your metrics are important, and a communications professional can help you track your metrics.
Okay.
What this will do is help you define your audience, and also help you develop like promotional and publicity campaigns instead of just random posts. So what a lot of people do is just randomly post things. Oh my God, I have this thing to come out. I'm going to post the album cover. The
Right.
album cover, posting the album cover on TikTok isn't going to do anything for you. It really isn't.
No.
and
Because
also,
they've got all those dances and stuff, and people think you're like an ad, and they'll just keep scrolling past you.
Exactly. And also, when you know who your audience are and when you know how people are engaging with your content, you'll know what to post. If you post, you know, a certain type of video or a certain type of thing, and it does really, really well, you'll understand that your audience engages with that kind of content more.
Okay.
And so you'll understand to post that more. That's another thing that communications can do. It help you track your data.
Okay.
A publicist can also help you make sure that your logo, the messaging, is consistent across platforms to increase brand recognition. For example, you'll see a lot of people out there. You'll see that, you know, Genie Sweetness might be, I mean, you are well branded, but you might notice, but an example is you might be Genie Sweetness on Facebook, Sweet Genie on IG, Genie S on LinkedIn, on TikTok, you might be Genie the Great. People aren't going to know that that is the Genie Sweetness.
Yeah.
You have to have consistency. Genie Sweetness is known for being like purple. Your logo is purple. A lot of the things that you do when you are Genie Sweetness is purple. If Genie Sweetness is purple on one place and red on the other and blue on the other and wearing, you know, plaid, then, you know, that doesn't help build the Genie Sweetness platform brands. When people see purple, they're supposed to know that this is Genie Sweetness. You understand what I mean? So there's a consistency that a proper communications professional can help you build across your platforms when you engage one. And
I
all
wrote
that
down brand recognition. That's the
brand
phrase you gave us, brand recognition.
Yes. And another thing a PR professional can do is help put you in your best light when you're creating content, so to speak. Okay. You know, people who create content tend to use their cell phones. They tend to create content in all kinds of different lights and settings. Sometimes the sound is off. You've seen those videos before.
Yes.
When you are publicizing something, you need to make sure that it is in the best light. You have the best quality sound, best quality lighting, best look, that you are branded well, that everything that you're doing and saying goes along with your brand. And depending on what it is that you're promoting, it shows it in the best light. I'm gonna give you an example. I'll talk about my boss. Don't tell him I'm supposed to be at work right now, and hopefully he's not looking. But
we not telling.
I'm going to talk about him. So my boss is one of those eager beavers, and he's just always ready to jump into something, right? So what he used to do is he used to make these video messages, and he would make them. He had a camera on his computer that had like a fisheye lens. So it would look like he was in a fishbowl when he was making these video messages. The lighting was all crazy. Sometimes his kids will be running back and forth in the background. Like, it was a whole thing. But he, on the other hand, wanted us to take this content and post it on our social media. And I was like, this doesn't paint us in the best, it doesn't paint you in the best light, and it doesn't paint us in the best light. Right. So what we had to do was set up a space in the office. He came into the office. We got a proper camera. We got a microphone so that his sound didn't trip in and out. We got a ring light, and we got a green screen. So the last video that we produced for my company, with the CEO speaking, got a whole lot more engagement and got a lot more response because it was a properly shot video. And we were able to put some branding in the background because we had the green screen. And when I showed it to him, he was blown away at the difference in quality and finally understood what I was talking about all this time. When I told him, you look crazy, get out the damn fishbowl. And now, anytime he wants to do anything, I started calling him Mariah. Mariah comes to me and has a whole bunch of demands about the video that he wants. It's hilarious. But that is what a PR professional is supposed to do. It's supposed to help you get your messaging out in the best light. And a PR professional also is on top of all the latest and new communications tools and platforms. So in my current role, when TikTok or Clubhouse or something new is launched, me and my team are the ones who determine whether the company needs to be a part of that, if it's something that the organization needs to join, how we should use it, and how to develop the best kind of content to be shared there. And, that's part of our jobs. Like when it comes to an individual artist or an individual entertainer, that's not necessarily something they're more focused on creating. They're not necessarily aware of everything that's going on. So you might have some artists that might have sat on, there are probably some artists still sitting on MySpace for all we know, unaware.
I like MySpace. Thank you very much. Tom is my friend.
So that is point number one. Strategic content building and publishing. So those are the many different ways why it's important to have a publicist when you are creating content and making sure that you're creating and making strategic content and content. You laugh. I am sure there is somebody out there singing and posting. No, there
definitely are. And I think, MySpace just did a slight upgrade, but definitely when I'm logging into their social media and I see MySpace still listed, and that's their comfort level. So yes, there definitely are still creatives who are using MySpace.
And there's nothing wrong with MySpace. Don't think I'm hating on MySpace. I should use something different than MySpace. I should have said High Five or Friendster. There's somebody still on High Five, singing their soul out, trying to get people to buy their album. So, and another point on this same topic of strategic content is that a communications professional, public relations professional, can help you what's called define your voice. So part of your brand recognition comes from what we call your voice, your catchphrases, your point of view, your point of view on certain social issues, the themes that come through your music, or things that are important to you. A PR professional can help you find your voice and make sure that all of the content that you put out, has your voice in it. It's not, you're not coming off crazy. You're not coming off like someone else. It is unique in your own unique voice. Another thing that a PR professional can help you do in terms of content creation is help you publish articles on platforms like Medium, which is a platform for people who want to, it's like a writing platform. We can help you get an opinion editorial placed in a daily, on a blog or an outlet, a daily outlet, so that you're creating messaging and content around, certain things in your own voice, helping you define your voice. So that's, go ahead.
Is opinion editorial the same as like doing a review of your project, like an official review?
Not exactly. When I say an opinion editorial, say for example, there's an artist who sings a lot about, say there's a dancehall artist, and there are lots of things that are going on in politically in Jamaica in terms of dancehall music. You've seen this happen. People are trying to ban certain songs or treat dancehall artists certain ways, or ban dancehall music in certain places and fields. An opinion editorial is you going to like, is your publicist helping you like publish something in the Jamaica Star where you are talking about this issue, how it affects you, how it
Oh,
affects your industry. You know what I'm saying? And it's an opinion editorial.
so it's
So it's
your
not
opinion.
necessarily it's your opinion, and it's
Okay.
you as an artist, as a dancehall artist, speaking up and speaking out in your own voice about how this particular thing that is going on is affecting you and the people in your industry. It
And you're
helps paint
all
you
right,
as a thought leader or an industry leader.
and you're helping me to word myself so that I don't come across as ignorant. Instead, I come across as intelligent. I'm sticking to the topic, and people will definitely understand what side of the line I'm standing on.
Yes. So
Okay.
recently you saw, I think it was Bounty Killer.
Joshy? Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
Bounty Killer was giving his opinion on how somebody responded to Joshy, and you noticed that when he did his on his social media platform, so it was a little bit informal. However, if this was something that he really seriously wanted to take like to the newspapers, how he was offended by how the way they called it that country and how people treat younger artists or new and upcoming artists or new and upcoming Jamaican artists, then that is something that he would work with his PR professional to create so that when he's writing his opinion editorial in the paper, it has a tone that fits the paper as opposed to, him just what he wrote on his social media. So things like that.
Okay, thank you.
So that's all part of creating strategic content. Hi, Nikki. That's my cousin, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
So that's number one, creating strategic, helping you create content and being strategic about the content that you're creating and helping you create content campaigns. Now, the second reason why you still need a PR professional in the digital age is there's still a lot of traditional media relations work to do. When you hit a certain point in your career, it's time for you to get more targeted and more strategic in your placements, in your messaging, we talked about this a little bit the last time about whether it's right for you to do certain media interviews, whether it's right for you to, be affiliated with certain publications or certain things like, you know what I mean? So it is important to have a public relations professional to kind of help guide you through making these decisions and also helping you get the placements you need. Public relations professionals or PR, I keep saying public relations, PR professionals. PR professionals help you make these decisions and also have relationships, oftentimes have relationships or can build relationships to help you navigate these things. Once you, go ahead.
But how important is placement in these publications to my career, though?
Hey, Shamika. I see my friend Shamika on here. Say that again.
How important is that? How important are these publications to, what I'm doing?
What do you mean how important? Being on the radio, being on podcasts, being in news media, having your name, having people talk about you, having these things publicized is extremely important. That's what helps you build your public profile. If nobody knows what you're doing, then you're not doing anything. Per se. If you are a public figure and your whole idea and your whole point is to promote your music or to sell your art or to, be an artist, be a public figure, then naturally you got to be out there in the public. Publications need to be writing about you and talking about you.
We just got a quote. If nobody knows what you're doing, then you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
That's what you just told us.
Yes. In the world of communications and PR, if nobody knows what you're doing, then you're not doing anything. If I am sitting here making an album and nobody knows that I've made an album and nobody is writing about it and you don't read about it anywhere, and I'm not, your only place you see it is, me talking about it every now and then in a raggedy post that's, with janky, grainy video, then is there an album? Does Raine have an album?
No.
No. I often laugh at people who call themselves artists that have absolutely no product that is anywhere that you can find. That's the one that makes me laugh.
So you're not going to buy my dub? Is that what you're saying? You're not going to buy my dub? I'm running a special.
Why wouldn't I buy Genie's dub? Genie is well branded and well promoted. Of course I would buy Genie's dub. I don't know what you're singing, but I would buy your dub because I know your name. So yes, there is still a lot of traditional media and PR related work that still needs to be done, even though we're in the digital age. There is still, and what's becoming traditional media is also changing. So once upon a time, that used to be newspapers and magazines and radio, and now media includes such things as podcasts and blogs and YouTube shows. All of these are traditional now. You know what I'm saying? They're no longer new age things. They are run of the mill. If you're not engaged in these things, then you're back in the Stone Age, trying to get on the front cover of the New York Times. Nothing wrong with the front cover of the New York Times. Still very powerful, but I mean, there's more. There's a lot more out there.
Right.
So the first one was the strategic content. The second one is traditional media relations. And the third reason why you still need a PR person is what I call brand alignment. So part of a publicist's role is to be connected to influencers. So as a publicist, I'm supposed to be connected to all the media. I'm supposed to be connected to other publicists. I'm supposed to be connected to influencers in the music and entertainment business. Through these connections, a publicist can help you promote your products, build your brand through appearances, red carpets, A-list events. I'm supposed to be able to get you into A-list events and get you next to the right people who you need to be connected to take you to the next level. It's opportunities to connect your brand with influencers, with companies and organizations who are aligned with your brands or your beliefs or, your art, your products, whatever it may be. And I mean, if you think of something like, you have Diddy and his affiliation with Ciroc. A lot of people think
Ciroc.
Diddy owns.
Yes.
You have a lot of those things.
Media.
Or hey, Ronnie. Or you have DJ Khaled and Weight Watchers. Mm-hmm. So those are brand alignments. You understand what I mean? And these are things that, while a publicist might not necessarily make those deals, a publicist's job is to get you connected to the right people and introduce you to the right people and be at the right events so that these people see you and know who you are. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I am in recovery for quite some time now. So would you have me connected to a liquor company or a tobacco company?
No, because that's not your brand. That doesn't align with your brand.
But they're really popular though.
They are really popular, but they don't align with your brand. Part of the thing about making these connections and making these alignments are that there are things to build your brand, and so you align artists and entertainers or clients with the people and the products that are closely connected and will help and complement their own brand. So if your whole thing is based upon sobriety, if sobriety is your thing, then no, liquor is not the right move for you. And anyone who, and a publicist, a true PR professional, understands that and understands what your brand is and helps you find the right fit. That's another important thing. A lot of times managers, and God bless them, we all need managers. A lot of time managers just want the money. They want their 15%, they want their 10%, their 20%. A PR professional, communications professional really understands brand alignment and can help you still get at the bag, but not just take everything and make that could possibly be damaging to your brand. Yeah.
So you get a percentage when you connect me to people?
No, I was talking about your manager.
Oh, the managers, right? Sorry.
I said, a lot of people. One of the questions that came up at the things that I posed at the top of the conversation was that people are like, well, my manager can do that. Why can't my manager do that?
Yes.
I need a Your manager doesn't often look at things through a communications point of view. He's looking at things that, are going to make money because, your manager, although your manager cares about you, your manager also wants that 15%.
Right,
right. What you got going on. But a PR professional is someone who looks at things through a different eye, looks at things through a public profile building lens, a communications lens, a branding lens, so they understand what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, or what's right for you and what might be wrong for you.
Okay.
So that is number 3, brand alignment. So I'm going to recap again. The top 3 neat things that you need a publicist for, particularly in this digital age, is 1, the strategic content building and publishing. 2, you still need that traditional media relations. And 3, brand alignment and branding and brand raising. All of these things are areas that a public relations professional will suit you well in this current climate, in this current digital age. Now let's get back to the manager. So, and this is something I hear all the time. Like I said, I have a manager. My manager can do that. My manager can schedule my interviews. My manager does this. My manager is the one who sends everyone my music. My manager manages my social media. Well, your manager's busy. Your manager should be busy looking for deals, bookings, doing scheduling, tours, overseeing the business end to make sure that, the machine is running and the money is coming in. He or she doesn't have time to plan out a social media calendar, to help you make videos and graphics, to solicit interviews, to write blogs or op-eds for you. A publicist is somebody who actually works very close with your manager when it comes to not only those things, but also, like I mentioned, on brand endorsements, to make sure that's the right opportunity for you and to help and shape the look and feel of your voice in a campaign. The manager doesn't have time for that. Public relations person, PR person, is also another little thing to remember, is that they are the go-between between the public and the artist. Your manager doesn't have time to monitor your social media and make sure nothing crazy is popping off, or address, bullying, offensive comments, or crisis, communications crisis. All of those things need to be handled by a communications professional, not your manager.
Well, I like this phrase, crisis communication.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah, you've seen many an artist recently in crisis who did not have a public relations person, and watch that go all the way left. Sometimes even when you do have public relations, it still doesn't always work out the way it should. Because, a scandal is a scandal. But that person helps you manage and helps you rebuild and helps you move on. You've seen, let's go back to what's his name? Joshi?
Joshi.
The Joshi. Shaba was allegedly the person who commented on Joshi was Shaba's manager.
Xanadu.
Yes, it was his manager. And you see where that went. He needed a publicist to comment, not a manager to make those kinds of comments. Or his manager needed to first confer with a publicist before making statements like that. Because that just went all the way left. All the way left. You see what I mean? Well, yes, that is the perfect example. That is exactly why you need a publicist in this day and age. And look, it's gone viral. Other artists are commenting about it. I think, didn't Joshi just release a single or something about it? Yeah. And things in this digital age happen quickly. You don't have, sometimes you have to, it's important sometimes to take the time to think and to process, but also, I mean, you have to be able to move and pivot around really quickly.
Right.
Another area. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
If I could just tell you that on Val's Views that he had Mr. Vegas, Shams the producer, and oh gosh, I forgot the third person, but Mr. Vegas was really excited about the career of Joshi, and Shams the producer spoke about him too. So I just wanted to say that just to say that this young man is actually on an incline, not a decline. So he needs a publicist. Now
he does,
because if you have this is Mr. Vegas who's looking at you, Mr. Vegas, and Shams the producer.
This is Mr. Vegas. This is Shams. This is Bounty Killer jumping to your defense. I mean, 2 days ago, nobody really knew who you are. And look, now you have this opportunity. And I was going to, and that gets at a question that a lot of people ask. When is the perfect time to get a publicist?
Yeah.
It's now, when you have something to publicize. When you have something to publicize. This is the perfect time. Yeah. This is the perfect time for Joshi to get his publicist together. It's the perfect time.
Amen.
There was another thing that I was going to talk about, Peloton. So
did you see that?
Have you seen what's going on with Peloton?
Yeah.
Peloton. So for those of you who might not have seen it, Peloton was featured in the reboot to Sex and the City. Sex and the City was a very popular series. Now they have, and Just Like That. And Peloton was featured in the first episode. And Peloton agreed to have their bike and their brand in there, but didn't know how it was going to be used. Something that a PR person would have thought about. But I'm sure Peloton has their PR machine. It's just the thing that happened. Yeah. But it turns out that one of the main characters died as a result of him, exercising or overdoing it on the Peloton. And because this series is so popular, thank you, Kiki. Because this series is so popular, Peloton stock plummeted the next day. And people were talking about they were going to throw out their Pelotons. They were not using it anymore. I mean, Peloton was in a bad situation. Peloton pivoted very quickly. Their response was brilliant. Them using Mr. Big and the instructor who was featured in the show in their new ad that came out maybe like 48 hours later was brilliant. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. And I'm sure their PR arm was working overtime because that could have been a disaster. Yeah. That's right. Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
That was pretty bad.
And that underscores why you need a communications and a public relations team, because Peloton thought they were doing a great thing, that this was going to be great, this was going to be a great move for their brand, and good Lord, the stock plunged by like 11 points. Bad.
It was bad because he died, but I do have to say that yes, because their team, their public relations professionals went into overdrive. They got that ad out there where he and the instructor are sitting together in a romantic setting, and they did flip that. So that was pretty awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I have a scenario. I want to ask you.
Go ahead.
So I forgot to tell you. I know that I was dating John, but Steve came back.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that Steve was releasing his new t-shirt line and that he was recording us. So he put it on the internet. We did some crazy things the night before, and he put it on the internet.
Okay.
Help me out, Ms. Raine. I don't know what to do because I don't want to lose John. I have my new single releasing. Hey, Sponge. I
Hey,
have my
Smash.
new single releasing, and now this is on the internet, so I just don't know what to do. Should I just make a post on Instagram, or, I mean, my music's coming out here. I don't know what to do.
Your public relations and also possibly legal team would help you get that video taken down. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Ooh.
Help you get that video taken down. 1, 2, 3. And also go into overdrive doing damage control about the release of the video, about revenge porn, help you make statements about the video, about the release, statements that, help protect you and help, just kind of help put things into perspective and help the audience understand, what you're going through at this point in time. You saw that recently. What was his name? Hitman Holla or something like that?
That's what I was thinking about.
Had a video that was released on Twitter that one of his friends released. And if you notice, I found out about this today, and I will tell you, you can't find that video. It is very hard to find that video now because the PR team and the and possibly legal team went into action and made sure that that was removed. I'm sure Twitter was contacted, and Twitter's team took it down. Like it's a whole thing. And you'll notice that he's made statements, and I believe his girlfriend has made statements.
So what do you think about his statement? Because in his statement, then he said, I would never do anything without her consent. We only sent it to our closest friends. So I wanted to ask, do you feel that his statement, because you gave us when you did media coaching last week, do you feel that his statement covered all of the positive points that you mentioned before and protected him from coming across as abusive and misogynistic, and that maybe he was just using her and that he abuses women? Do you feel that he covered all the points in his statement?
I feel like he covered, so I have to go back and read the statement again, but I did read the part where he said that he would never release something without her consent. He sent it to, a closed network of people.
Friends,
close friends group with her consent. I'm not sure why, but okay, that's their thing.
Like, I never want my friends to see that, but okay.
If you remember from last week, everything is on the record. Everything is on the record. So me as a publicist would have recommended that he not do that. However, I would have to read it again. But yes, he did, underscore the fact that this was not something that he did as revenge. This was not something that he did to be, nasty, to embarrass her, that this was a thing that, his friends leaked.
Okay.
Once again, Miss Raine says, don't do that. Miss Raine says, don't do that. It's on the record.
Miss Raine, I'm not recording porn.
Oh my God. Yes, yes, and yes. For those of you who weren't on last week, that was a joke relating to a story about from the time I worked with Vibes Cartel about me being skeptical, him wanting to make a video for his fans and me being skeptical, and him releasing the video, which was perfectly fine, but in the beginning of the video say, Miss Rhea, know yourself, me not done a porn video, man, me not done a porn video. It was special. It was real special. It was really on. He really did go on Al Gore's internet and assure me that he wasn't making porn while releasing a video for his friends.
Yes. Oh man, Ms. Raine, so we learned something new today, and I just want to say that quote that you said. I just want to say it one more time. And today I didn't make a grocery list. I actually wrote real notes today. If nobody knows what you're doing, then you're not doing anything. I think that is so important to highlight because, again, when you ask, and I know that by now people are tired of me saying that you need a publicist and saying that over and over, and even myself mentioning my publicists over and over and over, but because, as number 2 suggests, because there's still traditional work, that needs to be done. But I just have, if nobody knows what you're doing, then you're not doing anything. A lot of time too, Ms. Raine, which on for Music Monday, this coming Monday, the 20th, we're going to do social media marketing. Excuse me. And one of the things that we talk about is hashtagging, because quite often then when the artists post, the creatives post, they just post, they don't necessarily have a caption, and they don't caption properly. And so shouts out to I
was going to say content creation. That
Yeah.
is why you need a
Yeah.
publicist.
That's what you said in point number 1.
Creating hashtags,
Yes.
helping you align with the proper
Yes.
hashtags, making sure that you have captions that have all of the buzzwords and everything that you need in it. Yep, that is why you need one.
And I wanted to say that because because, and if you could add clarity to this, Ms. Raine, because you can have a social media marketing manager who works with your publicist, if you're able to have both. What happened?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my lighting right. The question you said, having a social media. Say it again.
A social media marketing manager that works with the publicist, and if you could identify what the difference is between the two.
Oh, absolutely. I can do that. So at my current job, we have a what's it called, a digital communications manager.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry for anyone who has any questions. Thank you, Nicola, for saying this. There is a feature in the bottom right corner of your screen. It is a question mark. Please make sure that you place your questions in that question mark, so that because the screen moves pretty quickly, and with that feature, then Ms. Raine will be able to see your question, and she'll be able to answer it for you. Thank you so much, Nicola. I did forget to say that.
I see your question, Nicola, and I'm gonna answer it. But first, you wanted a question, the difference between a social media marketer and a publicist. So yes. Absolutely. So I can address that. At my current position, we have a digital communications manager. I am the director of advancement, which is communications, marketing, PR. And I have a digital communications manager who manages the social media. He and I work together to create the social media content, to plan out the social media calendar, to make sure that everything that is on social media aligns with other communications that we're putting out, aligns with our website, that everything is in sync, and that all of the messaging is correct, and that we are creating the right types of content across all platforms. So as the person who is in head of communications, the social media marketer has their own role in terms of, social media content creation, but this person often works closely, very closely with the public relations PR professional to make sure that everything is aligned. And the PR person is often the person who's coming up with the campaign. So the main points and the main strategy behind the campaign, whereas the social media marketer is a person who is helping to create the actual content. I'm sorry, it just got really dark outside, and I feel like my lighting is going haywire. Is that too bright?
I wonder if it's gonna
rain. Is that
rain.
Too bright? Do I look too crazy? Am I too bright?
No, this is good, because yes, it did get dark.
Okay. So Nicola, you had a question about, hold on, let me see if I can scroll up. The importance of PR knowing your genre. That is actually very important. If you are in terms of like music or fashion or something like that. So in music, there's obviously lots of different types of music. As a music publicist, I worked a lot with Caribbean artists in the Caribbean music genre. So that's reggae, that's soca, that's dancehall, that's, everything that encompasses Caribbean music. If a rock artist, for example, came to me for PR, that's not necessarily a genre that I'm familiar with. So I wouldn't necessarily know all of the right influencers in that genre. I might not have the right relationships with the different media associated with that particular genre, I wouldn't necessarily know like what content or what those fans are into. And so it is very important that a PR professional know the genre, or be very familiar with the genre that of music that, you know, they're working in. I would say that there are music publicists that do work in many different genres. So, I mean, I can work in Caribbean music and say hip hop music, or I can work in rock music and say pop music. But it's very rare that you would find like a publicist that's just, you know, well-rounded in every single genre.
Yeah.
And a lot of these genres are different. Afro beats is a whole different thing than, you know, rock and roll. It's very, and it has a whole different, they just act different. The fans act different. The music performs different. The influencers are different. It's very important. One of the things that I remember, one of my epic fails is that as I was a music publicist and someone was having a fashion event, and it was a Caribbean fashion company, and they wanted to have this fashion event, and they wanted to hire me as a publicist because they knew all the stuff that I was doing in music. And it did not go well. The PR did not go well because I'm just not plugged into fashion. I'm just not plugged into fashion. When at their events, I mean, there was press there, music press, who was looking for, you know, who was there for, you know, music and you know, the other parts of the show that didn't necessarily have to do with fashion, but it didn't do anything for their fashion brand. You know, Vogue wasn't there.
Sorry.
Yes, that was an epic fail.
Miss Raine, I'm so sad. Yeah, we have 8 minutes left, but I'm so sad because this is like the end of, we only have one more session with you.
We only have one more session, but you know me, I like to recap and drive my points home. So once again, the question that I've been posed here is, you know, why do I need a publicist in the digital age? So my 3 main points, going to recap them really quickly, is number 1, a publicist or a communications team can help you with strategic content creation and publishing. Artists and entertainers and public figures do have the power to, you know, post whatever they want to on their social media channels or on their, you know, social channels or social platforms. But a PR professional can help you, build your online audience through targeted content and publishing across various platforms. They can help paint you in the proper light to highlight and make sure that the right messaging is coming across. They can help you find your voice and make sure that, you know, the content that you're creating matches up with the person that you are, the art that you are creating, and also the themes that come about in your music or in your art or in whatever it is that you're creating. We can help you create content, higher quality content than you can create yourself a lot of times. There's also a significant amount of traditional media relations that are still out there. So that's number 2. You still need to do interviews. You still need to reach out to news and radio, and I'll add podcasts and blogs because those are fast becoming, they are at this point in time, traditional media and regular media that you need to reach out to. And number 3 is the brand alignment. You know, part of the publicist role is to have these connections, like we were talking about when it came to genre, to know the influencers or the personalities, the people that you need to be connected to help bring your brand to the next level, the partnerships that you need to make. And it is important that your publicist and your PR team get you at the right events, get you connected to the right people, introduce you to the right people, make sure that you are seen in the right places. So those are the 3 things: content creation, traditional media, traditional media and brand alignment. That's why you still need a publicist.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, Prince. Ms. Raine, again, thank you. So next week, with our final session with you, you are going to help us get ready for 2022. We possibly might need to reinvent ourselves a little bit, or maybe just brush off and polish off a couple of things that we already have in place. So we're looking forward.
New year, new you. Who was that chick last year? Who was that chick last year? I don't know her. This is the new me. This is the person that I'm on. 2022. We are going to freshen those brands. We're going to freshen that brand up for the 2022. Hopefully we are climbing out of this pandemic. Let me knock on something wood-like.
Right.
And we need to be ready. We need to be ready for it.
Yes. Yes, we are saving this live, Job Prince. Thank you again, Ms. Raine. Everyone, we are saving this so that you could, if go line by line if you're like me and you have your paper so that you can write it down, because I always tell people over and over, I'm not a publicist. I have publicists myself who, if you've seen my growth, then you can understand why would a project manager need publicists. But anyway, so we just, again, thank Ms. Raine for this. We have one more left with her. New year, new you. Go back and watch media coaching, which took place last week, so that because we're in the holiday season and you guys have all of these, as all of the DSPs are closing and stuff, and so all of the podcasts and the blogs are looking to interview you, you guys should be ready. Please do not contact Destiny Media. Don't contact Job Prince. You guys, please make sure that you're following them. Make sure you are following FPCOMMS, which is Nicola over in the UK, because she always has these gems that come out on Tuesdays. She has a class that takes place at 6 a.m. my time. But anyway, all of this information that you guys are receiving, you are receiving it free. You should need to stop embarrassing us on these people internets, because you are getting all of this information. Right? Yes. You have all this information free. Get yourself together. Make sure you have your budget before you're contacting them too. Don't say that, well, I heard you calling this name and name dropping and all this other stuff. Then you go over there and say that, well, when Ms. Raine said no. Get yourself together first. Please.
Get yourself together.
Get yourself together. The information is free. So we will see you guys on Monday, actually, December 20th, 3 p.m., where we're going to be doing social media marketing, which, utilizing some of the information that Ms. Raine has spoke about in public relations, remembering that you work together, right, with your publicist. And because they create, hold on, I'm going to tell you guys what she said. Hold on. Because publicists create the campaign and your social media person create the content from the campaigns. Y'all got that? So we're going to be doing that on Monday. And then, of course, on the 22nd, then we're going to be discussing New Year, New You. So you guys, put it on your calendars. Make sure you come back. Click the little play symbol that you see there on the British Links Instagram channel. Shouts out to Romy Icon, who is the producer for all of the live shows who are on this channel, and myself, Genie Sweetness. Ms. Raine, my dear, thank you so much. I've been doing a lot of work today.
Thank you. Thanks, British Links. Thanks, Romy Icon. And shout out to Nicola and Ronnie and all of the other people, my cousin Nikki, and all the other people who joined in on the conversation. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. This is so much fun.
Man, yes. Later, guys.
Take care.